Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, a.k.a. Mini Wargaming Kris, a.k.a. The Name Butcher, a.k.a. Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. If you're new to this show, we usually talk a whole lot of painting and a whole lot of what's under the sun. And we usually have a few laughs. We usually try and learn something. But otherwise, hopefully it's just good old-fashioned family entertainment. That's usually not even that either. But I can see a lot of the regular monkeys already joining us today. I can see Lancaster 622, hi all. Tolo, there he is. Word to your mother. Lazy Monkey, howdy. Nidfink, hello everyone. John Doe, hello. Kurt Cruchot, Morning Monkeys. William Payne. Ghost of the Starman Deluxe. Red 6 standing by. Red 6 standing by. Lazy Monkey, Chris's Mustache. Secret, Master's Brush Cleaner, and Preserver. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. You know what, really? Because it would have a nice soapy smell. What I use is normally just kind of like a styling paste. I know like paraffin wax and stuff like that is often used. But yeah. Never thought of the Master's Brush Cleaner. I'd be kind of afraid of the hairs being just a little too pristine, I think. But if it's good enough for your sable brushes, I guess it's good enough for a mustache. Clayton Tate, hello everybody. Anyone's going to get any painting done this Way of the Brush show? Probably. Somebody's getting something done, right? John Gore, yeah, I got a bunch of sisters to work on. Tolo playing The Division. You're always playing games, dude. Are you like not getting any painting done these days? Is that what's going on? John Doe, probably not. Still gluing plastic. Rupert Bear, hello all. Hello, Rupert. Spite you. Aw, snap. Aw, snap. Tolo, my buddy is running a war machine tourney for cystic fibrosis. Well, that's a good cause. That's hopefully generates a good amount of a donation for that. Holy man. Comments flying by. Pangean, finally a Saturday without exams. Have not watched this live for a while. Well, at least you're still watching, hopefully. And hopefully still learning something. Hopefully still being entertained by something. I don't know. Clumsy Juggler, there he is. Hello, everybody. Dr. Xantos. Ghost of the Starman Deluxe. Achievement unlocked. Get a laugh out loud, Kris. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, you gotta laugh. You always have to laugh. I mean, you know, I worry about people who don't laugh. I don't hang around with those people. They take themselves too seriously. If you can laugh at yourself or any of the dumb crap that you do in your daily life, then, you know, we can be pals. But if you take yourself way too seriously and you just, oh no, I'm this or that, then no, we ain't gonna hang out. Ido Gihama, I'm on time. George Hopkins, hello everyone. Forgot that they were doing this today. It's every Saturday, dude. Every Saturday. At noon, Eastern Standard Time. Or for folks in Europe, it's like in the evening. It's like minus, I don't know, like 5 o'clock or something like that. Somewhere around there, anyway. George Hopkins, hello everyone. Forgot that we were doing, I already read that one. Black Widow 61, hello everyone. Sam Potts, I'm here. Well, Sam, guess what? I'm here too. So, yeah, I had a guest who was supposed to be showing up today, but unfortunately, he won't be showing up. Some of you might remember my good buddy Jim. He was supposed to be joining me today, and we were supposed to sit around, have some laughs, and giggle at, basically nothing. But and some of you might remember Jim from previous episodes. I've had him, I think, once or twice on the show. But for everybody else who isn't familiar with who Jim is, he's the fellow that's half naked in the intro. You see him sitting up with no shirt on. That's my buddy Jim. So yeah, it might have been a shirtless day. You never know. It could have been an all nudity day. And unfortunately, because he never showed up, well, he had other things came up for him. And yeah, so we spared you the male nudity all day. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. I'm managing to make you laugh, but whatever. Oh, to make me laugh. Sure. I'm actually not that hard to make laugh. I find a lot of things funny. I find a lot of things in this planet funny. And even things that people go, "Oh my gosh, that's horrible." I laugh because it's all you can do, really. You can't sit there and cry every time, so you might as well laugh. Maybe it's like Dr. Hibbert. I don't know. They just kind of laugh at everything and inappropriately. I don't know. Neil Turner, hello, Kris, and everyone. Working on putting on the new Warhammer Quest together. Oh, very cool. The Green Newt, hey all from Scotland. First time I managed to catch this show live. Well, welcome, Green Newt. Grey Death Angel, hello everyone. Ooh, Grey Death Angel. A gray one. Not a dark one, not a light one, but a gray. So, yeah, as I was mentioning, I was supposed to have a guest today. Didn't have, couldn't show up. So, unfortunate, But that's okay because we got tons of emails to get through today. And so I think we'll probably just try and blast through as many as we can, as quickly as we can. That way we're all caught up. And, yeah. I mean, we're not too far behind. Like the one we're going to start off with today is only 13 days old. So, I mean, it's not too bad. Lucien Velasor. Velasor. Man, I say that wrong every time. Villasenor. Yeah, that's what I said. Anyway, sup, Kris. Sup, Lucien. Sandpot said, Kris, I've missed the last few shows. However, how was the time you spent with your son? And how's school going for him? Well, he's home now. You may recall I missed a Way of the Brush a few weeks back to go get him. But he's home now, and he's going to be finishing off his college in this area, so he won't be up north again. He was up north in Northern Ontario, taking police foundations. That's what he's taking. He's going to be a cop one day. Probably arrest me for something dumb. And he says he's going to give his mother a lot of speeding tickets, so because she speeds. And yeah, so he's going to be a cop. He's going to be one of those big meathead-looking cops. That'll be him. So if you're ever in the Niagara area or wherever he ends up being stationed, and you see one of those big meathead cops, and you go, geez, look at this cop. He's a big meathead. That's probably going to be my son. So, yeah. Nice calling your son a meathead, right? Rupert Bear, Kris, I have Ravenwing bikes, and I'm really struggling to find highlights on the bikes. Any tips? You're talking about like trying to do the edge highlighting on like the corners and stuff like that. That's when you get bust out to the steady hand mode. You get your finest detail brush you've got. Latest brushes like the Artificer brush, the small. I know like Games Workshop just put out a 3-brush set of Artificer brushes, but I think they range. They're kind of like a 1 or a 0, 00, and a 000. I think are what they would equate them to, or maybe even a 1, 0, and a 00. Either way, thin your paint down. It can be kind of tricky because I mean, like the jet bikes on the cowling on top of the on the front wheel. I know it's got like those little corners and everything like that, and it's as simple as just kind of edging it like that. If you can get the angle just right, you should be able to just edge it like you would edge highlight on anything else, like an outside corner or something like that. But otherwise, it can be a bit tricky. You're better off just kind of like trying to draw it in a straight line. Just work. It's doing straight little lines like that. It just requires steady hands, and get comfortable, get relaxed, and make sure your paint is running nice and smooth and thin, and you can just do those lines and make sure you got your finest brush, your best, finest brush, and run your brush perpendicular to that surface. So like here's the surface, and your brush isn't like sideways, it's like perpendicular right to the surface, and you're just drawing it straight across, right? Because if you run it sideways, like at an angle, you're more likely, because if you notice the shape of your brush, right, it's a kind of a teardrop shape. So all the bristles come to a point, but it gets thicker as you get closer to the furrow. If you run at an angle, you can end up hitting, the sides of those bristles, making the line thicker than you want. And so, it becomes a complete pain. So be mindful of that. Ghost of Starman Deluxe, speaking of Warhammer Quest, is it a good place to start if you haven't played D&D or things like that? I don't know about D&D, but getting into the whole dungeon crawl kind of thing and stuff like that, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, the old Warhammer Quest was a lot of fun. It was an easy game to play, and, you can bash out a game, a few hours, and, it had a real nice random element to it, and, because you basically just drew for what room and then what monsters were in the room, and, you just fought your way through, and, yeah. It was fun. And this new one, I mean, it'll probably be fun. It's just all Age of Sigmar stuff, and so the universe isn't quite fleshed out yet for Age of Sigmar. So I'm kind of curious to see, how they expand upon this. Ito Gihama, Sandpots, right on. Dr. Santos, a love son has many names. Yeah, he's got quite a few names, actually. Quite a few. Yeah, quite a few. Oh, man, I don't even know how to say this first name. Pitor? Bart? Wow. Bart Kwak? Bart Kwak? Holy man. That's a tongue twister. Piotr? I'm just going to say pie. It's probably completely wrong. Anyway, he's saying hi, everybody. Well, hello. Welcome to the show. He's probably, I don't know if it's his first time viewing or what, but I've never seen that name before. And, yeah, it's Piotr. Piotr? Anyway, welcome. Name Butcher. We'll just chalk it up to Name Butcher. Black Widow 61 at Kris. It's been a while since I checked the quick tip. Did you ever do a set for the Raven Guard? Yes, I did. The Raven Guard for the Horus Heresy Marines? Yes, I did do Raven Guard. Raven Guard, I did them a little bit different than how I did them for Dark Angels, because again, they're two color schemes that are very similar. And so I tried to do, show something kind of different for each one instead of showing the same kind of crap. I mean, try and mix it up for everybody, right? So show different ways of skinning a cat kind of thing. And yeah, with the Raven Guard, what the heck did I do for the Raven Guard? I think it was a pretty simple edge highlighting, and it was the Dark Angel that I kept him really, really dark. Yeah, I think. I can't remember now. But yeah, in the vault there are about 5 videos on Raven Guard, on like doing the symbols, doing the armor, doing the eyeballs, stuff like that. Lancaster 622 Peter, I think. Yeah, is it Peter? I'll go with Peter. I mean, sure, we'll say Peter. He's probably all pissed off now. He's not going to talk. I can't even say my name right. Let's do an email, since I can't read names. And this is from Jonathan. Hey, Kris, you may remember me mentioning my fully converted Genestealer army back in episode 117, way back. Well, here is wave 1. Unfortunately, the pictures are even worse than last time. The Leviathan Dreadnought in 116, but there are a lot. Speaking of the Dreadnought, I decided that when I paint him in the outer chest, shoulder areas, dark purple, as you don't notice it on the Marines. Today, there's so much I have to bullet point it. Okay, so we're getting bullet points now. So, number 1, Chapter Master and Baja Conversion are both different forces, but I did them at the same time. Number 2, second generation Genestealer. Second generation hybrids. Half of what I need to do and no first gens, but we're getting there. 3 third generation hybrids. All of those are done now unless I decide to make 2 left in the 3rd gen, not 4th. What? Number 4, 4th generation hybrids. These are all made from regular guardsmen. Okay. 5 guard command squad. This and everything after is either look good next to the army or be unconventional allies. That happens a lot in my club. 6 some objectives. A far left guy is popping out of a manhole. Far right is some sort of Genestealer infected local wildlife. Interesting. The others are pretty self-explanatory. 7 converted Chimera. The guns in the back and the turret and the door all move, and the Eldar missile launchers represent the hunter killers. Very cool. 8, 9, and 10, Taurox with the roof off, and the roof itself. This is part of getting loads of spare weapons and part of the LOLs. 11 Dark Elder Scourges. I need them for Baharoth, and the ones that Batwings looked a bit Tyranidsque. 12 and 13, a Genestealer version of the Episode Assassin. I had some spares left and I wasn't sure what to do with them. 14 and 15, a Genestealer version of the Vindicare Assassin. I felt that a sniper should always be alone in combat, so I took this guy out of the command squad. And now, my questions. Holy crap, now there's questions? Firstly, how would you recommend making the feathery scourges fit in more? I feel like they just come off a regular Dark Elder. They feel like they come off regular Dark Elder. Secondly, how would I go about making the door blocked by the cannon on the Taurox look welded shut? It wouldn't open all the way in real life, and I wanted to look as though it wasn't just a stupid mistake or whatever. The next step is some Dark Vengeance cultists and a box of Age of Sigmar Crypt Horrors. When they come out and make some bigger guys, there will also be an Orc truck and Dark Elder Raider at some point. This is getting pretty long, so thanks. GOSD774. Oh, this is, no. Ghost of Starman Deluxe? Is that who this is? Oh. Okay, so let's have a look at his picky chores. Yeah, let's go with this one. Although this one gives a little bit closer look at the stuff. Very cool. He's got his commander there. And he said this is Baharoth. Or you're standing in for Baharoth. Very cool. He's got the big rifle, big wings, Scourge. Gotcha. And Genestealers. Very cool. He said these are his 2nd generation, I believe. Very cool. Everything feels so blue. Blue. Oh, this guy's got a Eldar Flamer. And he's got a regular Flamer. Well, I guess really you take whatever you had, right? Because I mean, like, Genestealer cults are all underground kind of things, and secretive, and have to scavenge what they can. Very cool. It's the guardsman. And so these are his 4th generation. So they're pretty much normal looking. His command squad. Very nice. Objective markers. Very cool. Some little dude creeping out of the thing. That's cool. I like that. Eldar bit. Very interesting. Sword and Stone. Very cool. At least I assume this is Sword and Stone. I don't know if that's a Sword and Stone. Chimera. Ooh, the big venom cannon in the front. Missile launcher for the Hunter Killer. Very cool. I think if you could find any more Imperial Guard bits, you know what I mean? Like, keeping the missile head, is fine. But, like, not keeping all of the other detail, and kind of just, if you could find, like, little boxes or tubes or, things like that, just to make it look a little bit more human. Taurox. Now, he's got it shut with the green stuff, but you wanted to make it look like it was shut, like it was welded. making it look like it's welded. When the green stuff was still wet, if you had, say, something like with a rounded tip, kind of like a ballpoint pen, and from one direction, you started on the outside edge of the green stuff and pushed inwards at an angle, and then basically just worked your way backwards, pushing the green stuff in. You'd have this rounded kind of segmented. It almost looks like little scales, kind of like how a weld would look if you just kept working backwards, pushing the green stuff in with that little ballpoint pen tip, and you just kind of kept working back, keeping them nice and close so that they're kind of overlapping almost, if you kind of catch my meaning, and make it look like a weld. That's one way to do it. Very cool. Scourges, excuse me, scourges, to make them look so they don't look like Dark Eldar. It's kind of a tough one because I mean they look like Dark Eldar. Typically, head swaps would be a big one, but he's more concerned with the feathery one. I thought. Was that it? I gotta go back to the question. Yeah, how to make the feather scourges fit in more. They don't feel like they just come off as Dark Eldar. Well, they're Dark Eldar, dude. I mean, they're gonna kind of feel like Dark Eldar, right? But yeah, head swaps would probably be one. Smoothing out the armor, changing the shape of the armor if you're green stuffing, or if you got like a blade or whatever, you can kind of smooth out some of those armor points. Things like that, just change, the overall feeling of the armor. I think is really what the big one is, because Dark Eldar armor is so curved and pointy and such that if you can knock some of those points off and make things maybe a bit more rounded or squarish, I'm not sure what your end result you want to look for though. If you want it to look like Eldar, like regular Eldar, or you want them to look like they're like humans with wings or what. So yeah. Oops. Here's a little Genestealer conversion. There's a sniper with a big old rifle. Oh, that's it. That's all the pictures. Oh yeah, this is his Genestealer Eversor assassin. That was it. Yeah. So, thank you for sending those in. Very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what you meant by, not making the Dark Eldar look like Dark Eldar. Because if you're not going to make something look like something, then what do you want it to look like, And I think, if you're going to change the look of them, then you might as well try and make them look like the rest of your army, right? And so kind of give them that kind of Imperial Guard armor kind of look, maybe reshape, the shoulder pads, or if you're good with your green stuff, then you can fill in gaps and, blend like this chest armor into one solid piece and, stuff like that. But whatever you work out, send me pics of your work in progress. I'd like to see, or especially when you start getting them painted. Where are we? Peter, yeah. First time live. Piotr is Polish for Peter, so close enough. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm just going to say Peter then, because it's close enough. Black Widow 61. Thanks, Kris. I'll track them down. Working on making a small, highly converted force of Raven Guard. Very cool. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. All the hybrids are getting shoved down, so second and our thirds and so on. Just thought I'd confuse you more. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, you gotta keep throwing these other variables at me, because as long as I don't know what's going on, I'm good. The ranged weapon is supposed to convey the look. Yeah, okay. No, the other door on the side closest to the camera. Oh, well, either way, if you're gonna make it look like it was welded shut, okay, and if it's just the two bits and you're not gonna have a whole big thing of green stuff, just roll it like a little sausage, lay it inside the door like that, and with a ballpoint pen, just work your way backwards. You're going to have to do it like 100,000 times, but you just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like you're sewing. And then what's left behind is this impression of, it almost looks like a weld on the model. Give it a shot. If you don't like it, just rip it right off. The Barfy Sheep. I'm late, but I'm here. Hello. Yawning now. JG Ponage. Jeez, I can't speak. Hey Kris, have you ever tried Gundam paint markers or something of the like? The end results look great if done well, but I can imagine that they would be difficult medium to work with. No, not really, because a lot of times, a lot of painters will use regular printer's ink to, do an ink wash on their model, and that's fine. It has no funny effects. Acrylic paint, like Citadel paint, Army Painter, P3, whatever, right? When acrylic paint dries, it dries and it's pretty much indestructible. It's short of fire and, ripping it off and things like that. But otherwise, laying other things on top of it, it can handle it. It'll be fine. And so if you had one of those small technical pens that just had just ink in it and you ran that across, it most likely would take it fine. And in fact, the micro porous surface that is acrylic paint most likely would accept the ink. So don't be afraid to use those pens. I know a lot of people way back in the day. I remember there was a time that everybody had them. It seemed like everybody was using them to do like all the Eldar tanks and stuff like that. Like everybody was just, take the pen, just draw in the lines and you're done. Which of course makes sense, right? Because it's the easiest way to do it, rather than trying to thin your paint down, trying to keep your paint in a nice thin consistency, and then taking your finest brush and trying to be very careful, and as opposed to just taking the pen and just going and just following the lines, right? Because that's what the pens are designed for. I might have to get myself a set, and just showcase them off for people who are a little bit curious to see. Because I know, like, there's a lot of people out there who, steady hand. I always talk about steady hand mode and people getting, comfortable and stuff like that. But even still, that still eludes some people to get comfortable and to, to do freehanding and stuff like that. And so I think whatever I can show that makes life easier for some people, I think is a win, right? So, Green Newt, very nice conversion, sir. Clayton Tate, I know Peter. I think you are on my Facebook friends list. Okay. Wargren, good morning, Mr. K and Monkey Duderinos. John Gore, I'm late. Had to run to the store for waffle materials. The kids are being demanding. My little girl, when she was small, well, she's 14 now, but I mean, she doesn't demand of it now. But when she was small, yeah, it used to be French toast all the time. French toast. Dad, can you make French toast? Dad, can you make French toast? All the time. So, yeah, I know where you're going, John Gore. The Barfy Sheep, waffles. I want some now. Yeah, I know. He said waffles. I can just see the big fluffy things. Leo She, hello monkeys, just made it. Well, welcome, Leo. You missed it too. I'm here. I am. Here I am. I'm here. Here I am. Whoa. Ghost to Starman Deluxe. John Gore, never get between your kids and their waffles. Yeah, exactly. Never. The little heathens will just tear you apart. It'll be like being stuck in the monkey cage at the zoo. Still here and still. That's a great name. Still here and still. Greetings. Well, greetings still here. Lancaster 622, French toast. Yes, I know French toast. Because the way I do it is I throw a couple eggs in a bowl, a little bit of milk or cream, and start whipping that up. Throw a little bit of cinnamon in there. Slather the bread inside the mixture. Throw that hot into the hot skillet. Let it sear up a little bit. Let it get nice and toasty. And then throw it onto a plate with a little bit of confectioner's sugar. And then, of course, the little girl would hit it with syrup. But, of course, you got to try and control that. Because, I mean, she just, have the stuff just floating in the plate on syrup. But, yeah, so Yeah, that was a lot of Saturday mornings. Goes to Starman Mandela. Also, Chris's daughter is my age. Surprising. Yeah, don't get any ideas, buddy. Um, yeah, she's 14, and my son is he turns 20 today. Alexander turns 20 today. So we're going to a eating establishment that's one of our favorites in the Niagara Falls area. It's close to the falls, and it's a nice little Mexican joint, and they sell fishbowl margaritas. Oh yeah, so it's margarita time this evening, I'll tell you. All right, let's do another email. This is from who's this from? This is from Brad Johnson. Hey Kris, I've been slack with the emails, but that's because I'm lazy. Well, at least he's honest. I have no Tyranids or Dark Elder this time, but some Viros models from War Machine Retribution of Syra. Thanks, boss. And so, let's have a look. Ooh, very nice. Look at this guy. I like this guy. Nice little birdie on his shoulder. For a lot of you guys out there who are not that familiar with War Machine, the sculpts in their range are getting so much better these days. I had a hard time getting into War Machine because of the sculpts, and yeah, but nowadays, like, you know, I never knew the rules, and in fact, what I really like about War Machine is the rule set, and the models are now catching up with this really great rule set, and I think that's a positive thing. And War Machine has gained so much popularity, and I think it's going to keep gaining more popularity. It's a good game for anybody who's not played it. Give it a shot. But very nice. I like this. I like that red with the silver in there. That's really cool. It almost has like an organic quality to it. It almost feels like, you know, like it's like a blue shell, almost like crab shell, and these are kind of popping through. Oh, was that it? That wasn't it. Come on. There we go. And then cloak. I think with your dry brushing on the cloak, I think you could have kept more of your brush strokes down towards the bottom here, so it was a little bit brighter, and kept your darker tones just up this way a bit more, keeping a very light hand as you did so. But otherwise, you know, nice job. Just so that you see more of that gradient in there, you know. Nice work on the face too. You can see that scars, eye patch. Really good stuff. Wow. See, you put some dirt on his bottom of his cloth. That's very cool. Did you use pigments or did you dry brush that? That's very cool. Almost looks like dry brushed, but almost looks like it's pigments as well. Can't say. No, I think it's dry brush. I'm going to guess it's dry brush. Nice work on the metal too. I like that, the hints of blue and the shadows and stuff, going for that, you know, that slight non-metallic metal feeling. Very, very cool choice. Oh, is that it? That's it too. I got to get to work on my War Machine models too. I got to get my my mercenaries done. Watching the boys play War Machine the other day, kind of you know, rekindled my need to play some War Machine. So where are we back in these comments here? John Gore. Oh, Kris, I picked up some of the Masters brush soap. Can't believe I've never used this stuff before. It's glorious. I know. And I when I was younger, and then of course I had heard about using brush soap to, you know, take care of my brushes. Yeah, it was like, whew, you know, like it was going into the next dimension of painting and, you know, brush care and, you know, being a responsible. I don't know, responsible. It sounds a little heavy for that, but yeah, I mean, being a very conscientious painter, and yeah, and of course saving yourself some bucks because you're not going through brushes half as often. The barfy sheep tread lightly. Yeah, yeah. Samuel Berg. Today's title: The Art of French Toast. The art of French. Well, how do you guys make French toast? I mean, is the recipe the same the world over, or, you know, Am I the only guy who does it with throwing the cinnamon into the mixture, or do people add the cinnamon after? I mean, who knows? Bailey Muir. Hey Kris, how would you get a good worn cloth effect with green stuff? With green stuff, I mean, you kind of pretty much have to follow how other sculptors do it, right? Where you have that broken texture at the bottom with those little holes in the divots. Now doing it by sculpting, I mean, sculpting is not my forte. I mean, my sculpting is very, very minimal. It's it's adding details and stuff like that. I don't know if I've done kind of like the ripped material stuff before. I did it on Kanum, the Necron Lord for Matt's campaign, one of the earlier campaigns. I can't remember which one. And yeah, I did wasn't really cloth. It was more like hanging flesh. But the way I was doing it, and then I was kind of just quickly tearing off the end of the green stuff, and it left these really tattered kind of ends to it. And I kind of liked it, and so just with a bit of playing to make the bits fit, it looked like torn off, flesh. And I think for doing cloth, I think you might be able to get away with something kind of similar, where you can kind of just quickly, just kind of whoosh, and just take off the bottom end of it, fix it up, neaten up the cloth, get it all kind of, the folds, everything right again, but then you have that tattered kind of end to it. Give it a shot. It might take you a couple tries to get it kind of right, just to kind of get the, the right kind of speed to pull that green stuff. But, yeah, give it a shot anyway. Couldn't hurt, unless the monkey started hurting people, which it most certainly will. Spartan 56. How late am I? You are 40 minutes late. Still here and there. Oh boy. Cheers. Haha. Is it too early for margaritas? Is it a long weekend? It is a long weekend. Right now, no, it's not too early for margaritas. On a Saturday at noon, no, all bets are off. But we're not going until the evening, so. Well, it's 7 p.m. somewhere. Exactly. Now, if this was a morning show, like it was 7 in the morning, and I was drinking margaritas, then I might have a bit of a problem. I might have a bit of a problem. You guys wouldn't have a problem. I'd have the problem. Because then start slurring words, and then start cursing, and then just really kind of just the whole brain mouth filter would be gone. And yeah, we'd be talking about anything and everything. Some kids would be like, "Oh my god, I can't listen to this. This is dangerous stuff." Ghost to Starman Deluxe. I'm not even in the same continent, so I don't think that you have a problem. Besides, my socially awkward level is over 9 million. Oh, it can't be that bad. But if you're on another continent, that's fine. I'm glad. You stay away from my daughter. Spartan 56. Hello, Kris. I was wondering, are you excited about Mark III? Why, yes, I am excited about Mark III. Recently, we were just talking about Mark III, about the changes and everything like that. Well, like the rumored changes, anyway. And yeah, I'm excited. I mean, there was a lot of things I didn't realize how it affected my mercs. Cavalry, like no standing tall. Or tall in the saddle, no standing tall. No tall in the saddle. That kind of hurts because I relied a lot on that one, just to get at some kind of characters and stuff like that. Whereas before, I mean, there was no problem. Kind of just charge into a guy, bang, and then look over the rest of the infantry and kind of dunk, hit somebody else because the steelhead cav have reach, right? So they look over other people's bases, the small bases, and they just dunk and hit somebody else on the head. Some other ones. Oh, tough. Tough's been changed, and that affects my Drake McBain army. Oh my god, because his feat is a tough feat where he basically gives tough, and yeah, it's not depressing, right? It's not sad or anything, but it's gonna force me to change up my games a bit, and not until I have all the cards and all the rules in front of me am I gonna be able to really kind of formulate what I'm gonna do now to compensate for that. I mean, who knows? I might not see it. It might actually got worse, or it might have got better. So who knows? Not until I have all the rules in front of me. Not until I have the new cards, like a new Drake McBain card in front of me. Yeah, then we'll see. Clayton Tate, episode 119, French toast and waffling the Peter. Waffling the Peter, that has all sorts of hidden meanings in it altogether. Still here, and you gotta throw cinnamon into the mixture. Yeah, you gotta throw cinnamon in. Everybody says yes, you throw the cinnamon in. Where am I? Annabelle Mole. Hi, Kris. Spelled my name wrong. Working on any Warhammer Fantasy stuff at the minute? Am I working on any Warhammer Fantasy stuff at the minute? At the minute, no. For the last couple months, since December, I've been working on Horus Heresy Marines, Space Marines, for all 18 legions. And of course, trying to keep it different, trying to keep things somewhat fresh. And yeah, that was quite a struggle. Right now, I think I'm just going to kind of wrap up what I did for the last couple of months doing the Space Marines, and then I'm not going to touch a Space Marine for quite some time, I think. And so yeah, I might get into some fantasy stuff. I don't know. I mean, I would love to do up some of them orcs. I'd love to do that big orc guy with the big skull on his shoulder. That model is so cool. And regular Warhammer Fantasy stuff, well, that stuff is disappearing fast, isn't it? I mean, pretty soon Games Workshop's not going to be selling that stuff because it's all going to be Age of Sigmar. So I don't know. But yeah, nothing on the agenda as far as working on any kind of Warhammer Fantasy stuff. I mean, I've got lots of stuff on hand to work on, and yeah, I mean, I still have a Bloodthirster. I still have one of Dave's Bloodthirsters to do. So maybe I'll do a Bloodthirster. Rupert Bear testing Dr. Zantoast. We'll see you, Rupert. Oh, we see you, Rupert. Rupert, Kris, I'm using liquid green stuff for filling in where the plastic pieces meant, but when it dries, the gap comes back. Am I not putting enough down, or should I use normal green? Yeah, if the gap is really, really big, okay, that liquid green stuff is kind of like opening up again, because what happens is liquid green stuff isn't real green stuff. It's not 2-part epoxy resin or putty. Liquid green stuff is more like it's more like an acrylic binder with the little bits of stuff that they use for like the texturing the bases. That's what liquid green stuff is. And liquid green stuff shrinks when it dries. And it doesn't handle filing very well either, I find anyway. So there's very, very minimal cases I use liquid green stuff. Liquid green stuff I use if there's like a hairline gap to fill. Or if there's like a slight step in the parts, I'll use liquid green stuff to kind of just smooth that out just a bit. Otherwise, I use Vallejo's modeling putty, which is a nice little modeling putty. It's made with marble dust and a binder, and that stuff doesn't shrink. And as it's somewhat drying, you can take like your damp finger and just kind of smooth it out really fast. And it doesn't dry, and once it's fully dry, you can sand it, file it, whatever, and it's like rock hard. So yeah, I definitely would recommend something like that if you don't want to go out and bother mixing like a little wad of green stuff. But otherwise, yeah, if that's all you have on hand, unfortunately, that's what you're gonna have to use is normal green stuff, 2-part epoxy, to fill those gaps. Because I mean, if the liquid green stuff is shrinking and it's opening that gap up again, that gap sounds too big. So, yeah. I think I need a coffee. Coffee. Yeah, so, but if you can find some, Vallejo sells modeling putty. I definitely would recommend that stuff for a lot of small gap filling. I use it a lot for, even I don't use liquid green stuff. I haven't used liquid green stuff in a while. Not that it's bad. It's just it's very limited in what it can do. But yeah. So hopefully that helps. Rupert. Spartan 56. What's the name of the paint brush soap? Masters. Oh. I don't think my spine was meant to turn that way. Masters brush cleaner and preserver. And they sell this stuff in varying sizes. They even sell like big tubs. I used to use it for my oil painting. And yeah, it was great because this stuff gets out oil paint. It gets out all sorts of stuff. It just makes your life so much better. But there are other brands out there. Masters isn't the only one. There are a few other brands that do the job, and they seem to be the same stuff. What exactly is in a brush soap? I'm not sure. It doesn't taste good because I know, and so yeah. Oh, wrong mouse. But yeah. John Gore, pro tip for making worn cloth: get a piece of paper, cut it to the shape, place cover in PVA glue, and then poke some holes and make some tiers and let dry. Interesting. Yeah. To do with the glue and paper. That sounds pretty easy enough. I like that idea. Good call. I like it. Holy man. These comments just go flying right by. Clayton Tate, haha, way of the evening brush with Kris, and a frilly drink, and a fire app, and his giant monitor behind him. Yeah, I should put the fire on when we're doing way of the brush. Anybody who watches the Sit Talks, I have the fire burning instead of this thing going. It's a backdrop, right? I mean, come on. It's a little bit of showmanship, for God's sake. Come on, people. Samuel, hey Kris, how would you make a cracked ice base for a mini? One of the easiest ways would be to use crackle medium. You can find it at most art supply stores. You can find it in large amounts. Vallejo makes a crackle medium. I don't know if anybody else does make a crackle medium. Well, Games Workshop makes a crackle medium, but it's already got colors in it. It's already got like earth tones in it, so it's not really good for something like, an ice base. And basically, I would start off with a medium blue, not too dark, but something more along the lines of like my Craig blue, something along like that, like a medium blue, a mid blue. Lay that in the base, put your crackle medium down, and then typically the way most crackle medium work is that you lay the color on top, and then the crackle medium will mix with that top layer of paint and crackle open, and you'll see the darker blue shining through. You could also leave it bare and actually let it just crackle on its own, and that way it's clear with the interplay of blue, and you can come in with something like an airbrush or something and just catch just the tops with a bit of a light blue, and that way you'd have a bit of color transition going on, and you have that clear crystalline kind of look. And yeah, but I think crackle medium is probably your best bet for getting in like a nice icy kind of base, crackled kind of broken kind of look. Otherwise, you probably have to sculpt up something kind of like ice crystals kind of poking up, or I'm immediately kind of thinking of something like Superman kind of thing, with the ice levels, and I don't know, something like that. But I don't know. But hopefully, Samuel, that kind of helps. Crackle medium. Get yourself some crackle medium. Crackle medium. Despite you, I would totes watch Way the Brush After Dark. Yeah, everybody says they want to see like a mini wargaming or Way the Brush After Dark. I don't think you guys do. I don't think it would last very long with all the swearing and just the foul language and just how gross people can really be. I don't think you want to see that show. Despite you, I think Clayton's on to something. Yeah. Annabelle Mole. Oops, sorry. What's your name, Kris? It's okay. I was just bugging anyway. Samuel, are you planning on doing some Age of Sigmar when the point system drops this summer? I don't know. I'm one of those Warhammer fantasy players that was kind of butthurt when they dropped Bretonians. And at least officially, well, it's not official, I guess, but there's no Bretonians. So, like all the nice sculpts that they can do now, and all the flying poses and all this, all this dynamic stuff going on a base. I want to see some Bretonians that are flying around like Pegasus. I want to see a Green Knight, like spectrally moving across the battlefield, kind of like Nagash or the Celestian Prime or something like that. Like I'd like to see something like that, and it'd be a nice excuse to do up some really kick-ass looking models. And I mean, like the Bretonians, they don't even have to make them look like normal kind of knights the way they used to. They can, kind of Age of Sigmar them up a bit and, give them kind of exaggerated, knight armor. And, I mean, they probably look like Space Marines, of course. Again, they look like the Stormcaller guys or Stormcast guys. But, I mean, it's what it is, right? Although I imagine they'd probably look more like Grey Knight Terminators, like with the helmets. Yeah, the helmets would probably look more like Grey Knight Terminators, but then they'd have like the top, their top icons on their heads and stuff like that. I could totally see like a completely revamped looking Bretonian army, but they would look awesome. And then they're all flying about and they're all flying about. But yeah, I think it'd be awesome. Awesome. GG Onage. Do you have any experience with MDF terrain? What do you recommend? I would really like to pick up some for my 40k table, but I have no experience with MDF manufacturers. Manufacturer, Death Ray Designs, Austin Brush for Hire. That's his current MDF line, and his pieces are really great. And he's got a new line coming out with some pieces that are more designed for like large scale 40k kind of stuff. Like big buildings, like for like hiding titans behind and stuff like that. He's got really great designs. We have like his Eldar stuff here. I think we have his Necron one here, and I mean MDF. I mean it's pretty easy to work with. You just punch it out, prime it, paint it, away you go, right? I'd be inclined though to do something else before priming. I'd be inclined to spritz a fine layer of PVA glue over the entirety of the piece. Just a fine layer. Just a fine layer. Just to soak up any extra pores that are in that material. Because MDF is basically it's like mulched wood that's glued together with a binder. And it's just pressed together. But it's still very, very porous. Now, not that it's like leak proof or anything like that, but it's still paint will like kind of sit on it and then just kind of go in. Whereas if you sealed it and then put a primer layer down and then you had a nice smooth surface to work from. So if I was ever thinking of picking up some MDF, which I haven't been able to, or not able to, but I just haven't had the inkling to, but I was thinking about picking up like the Eldar set and doing up some more Eldar terrain for myself, more in the Samhan colors, because the color scheme that we have here, I think Austin painted it for us, and it's a gray orange, and it's a little bit generic, whereas I want something specific to my craft world. So I was thinking about picking up a set from him, or 2 or 3. But yeah, Death Ray Designs. I couldn't quite bring it up. Wait, do I have his card here? I might have his card here. I don't have his card here. Shame on me. There I was, hanging out with the guy all Adepticon, and I don't even have his friggin' card on me. Bad, Kris. Bad. Anyway, go to Death Ray Designs and say Mini Wargaming Kris sent you. Maybe he'll cut you a discount. I don't know. He probably won't. He'll probably charge you more. No, he won't. So I'm just kidding. But yeah, Death Ray Designs, Brush for Hire, Austin Brush for Hire. if you find Brush for Hire and go to link to like his Death Ray designs and his MDF stuff, you'll find it. You'll find it. But yeah, it's good stuff. His Elder one, I really like his Elder ones, and I also like the Elder. So, yeah, to answer his question, whatever that was. Still here and still. By the way, I was loving the sit and talk you did with the fire in the background. Very homey. Well, after doing that episode, it hit me. I thought I should get myself a smoking jacket, like one of those red velvety or burgundy kind of smoking jackets. And then because I have the green, like, well, you can't see it here in the shot, but I have a green screen on the wall here, and then kind of sitting there, you know, and you know, sitting there with like a like a little snifter glass and a cigarette, and then, you know, do like the sit and talk. And no, we can't promote smoking or drinking on the channel, so it really wouldn't go that far. Where are we? Clayton Tate at Kris. When I convert the Age of Sigmar Orc War Boss into a mega armored War Boss with the lucky stick, I'll be sure to show you. Yes, please. Clayton, what have you been working on lately, man? Because I know you have a huge orc force, and I know you love converting the little dudes. What have you been working on? Have you been working on anything? Where am I in the comments? I don't know. Completely lost. We lost. Well, I'm way behind. I've been just talking too much. Despite you, I'm thinking Lee. Steve and Lee are getting into it. Mom and Dad are fighting again, you know. John Gore, I'm using 2-part acrylic to make ice stalactites. I think there's a video somewhere on the site for it. Yeah, that was the stalactites. That was, I think, Janine. I think Janine, her entry. Well, it was like her demo video for applying for the painter position, and yeah, I think she made icicles, didn't she? You just have to go back a few pages, or a month or so, maybe 2 months. How long has she been working for the company? I don't even know. Anyway, Ghost of Starman Deluxe. You could use GWs and add fake snow on top of painting it blue and white. Yeah, you could do that. There's many different ways, right? I mean, like, he was talking about more of like an icy kind of base. So when I think ice, I think clear, kind of, you know, stuff like that. A snowy base is what I'm thinking. You know, the snow on the rocks and, you know, stuff like that. But yeah. Ito Gihama, challenge accepted, Kris. Bring on the After Dark. Yeah, but Ito, I mean, for After Dark, for me, that's like really early in the morning for you, though. So, I don't know. You'd only be catching the reruns. Unless you tuned in at like 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning for foul mouth Kris to start talking. Dark Mako 91, Kris, have you done my emails yet? I was 30 minutes late. Dark Mako, I don't think I have. Because the next one I'm looking at is from Leo. So, and that's from 8 days ago. Idogihima. They fly a boot on winged moose, eh? A winged moose. Have you ever seen a winged moose? That'd be awesome. Because like moose are like indestructible. You like they get into car wrecks or something like that, and the moose always walks away unless it's from like a semi truck or something, right? But otherwise, cars and stuff like that, no. The moose always end up walking away. They just kind of get kneecapped a bit and they get back up and then walk away because moose are like prehistoric animals. They're like the leftovers from like when the mammals were really huge, and you know, like they're gigantic animals, huge. I can't stress enough how huge these animals are. And when they're on the highways and stuff like that, and they get clipped, most oftentimes they only get like fallen over, and they end up falling onto the vehicle and killing everybody inside. And oh yeah, because like like big massive bodies, but like little wee legs, like deer, like they got stilts for legs. They're not really that small. I mean, like a moose hoof is like, you know, this big, but I mean, his shoulders are like way out here. I mean, like if you're looking head on and you're looking at his shoulders, yeah, his shoulders are like 6 feet across. Like it's huge, man. It's huge. Where am I? Clayton Tate, Kris. I start projects and stop. I did Orcify and Imperial Knight. It's very popular and it's 70% completed. Well, let's see some pics, dude. So now I'm painting 15 Mega Knobs for the Bully Boys formation. I just can't finish what I start. Well, neither can I, but I mean, still, I want to see some pictures of that knight, man. Come on. Wait, why would you have to convert up a knight? You got a Stampa. Why would you need a knight? You got Stampas. Oh, excuse me. Mad Maxim 81. Hello, everyone. What did I miss? First time here for a live show. You missed a bunch. You missed a whole bunch of stuff, man. And but you only missed a couple emails. And we're gonna have to get another email done because we're at holy moly, we're already an hour in. So, yeah. Itogihama moose are massive and they're dangerous, especially when they have babies. Yeah, they're dangerous. Moose are only really dangerous in the fall. The rest of the year, they're pretty good. Not that you can go walk up to them and pet them or anything like that. Like, yeah, they're not friendly. Even deer aren't friendly. These bucks, anyway. Great Death Angel. Hey, everyone. I'm thinking of converting some Dark Eldar to make Corsairs, but I'm trying to figure out a good alternate Hornet. Does anyone know how big they are? They're only about yay big. They're about the size of... Well, they're half the size of a falcon. About half the size of a falcon. Because they're not that big. They're small. Total Kris gave away a car. Yeah, I gave away a car. Keys, everything already sent away. Did the ransom. Random. Raffle, that's it. Man, I couldn't even think of the friggin' word. Oh, getting tired. Only been up for an hour. Getting tired. Ito, male deer can kill you. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Well, even a female. Well, all deer can kill you. All they do is just stomp on you. Mad Maxim. Aw, did you know that they had shifted to Denmark? The car. I mean, not a moose. Yeah. Oh, the barfing sheep. Did you do the email, Blood Angels email? I didn't find it in the previous shows. The Blood Angels email. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it might be coming up. Barfing sheep. Such a fun name to say, barfing sheep. Totem Lord. There he is. Missed half the show. I know you missed half the show. That's okay. Half the show is still half the fun. This is an email from our buddy Leo Shi. Hey, Kris, thought I'd send in some of my work for the monkeys to enjoy. Please comment and offer suggestions on improvements. Regards. And so here, looks like his medic. I can't zoom this out, can I? Not really. See, this is why Kris says send it as an attachment. Attachment. So anywho, here's his dude. Very good. It looks like the paint's a little heavy on the face. Looks like some of those details are getting obscured. Be mindful of that. Mold lines. Of course, mold lines. I like the color scheme. The purple with the white. Is it a pinky blade? Or is it like bloodstained? But very cool. Again, be mindful of the thickness of your paint. Here's his little sorcerer dude. Very cool. Is it like a conversion? I think it's a conversion, eh? He looks like the way he's leaning is like his one horn is just too heavy. He's like, oh, it's too heavy. I gotta fall over. Interesting base. It'd have been cool to have like a wire or something, kind of so it looks like a little bit more floating. That'd been kind of cool. Oh, is that it? Leo, that was it? I thought there was more. Or is there more? I'm just not seeing them. Anyway, yeah. So Leo, yeah, definitely be mindful of how thick your paint is, just because like it looks like we're obscuring some details here, and of course the mold lines. And like I've said before many times, even if you just had just a smooth base coat, as soon as you see that mold line in there, people go, "Oh, I see mold lines. Oh, mold lines," and it immediately kind of takes the viewer out of it, and you don't want that. But anyway, good work, Leo. Thank you for sending those in. I like them. And of course, start working from a palette. Start thinning your paints. Be mindful of how heavy you're priming and how heavy you are laying that base color down, because you run the risk of obscuring details, and especially on a face that is like the central kind of where the human eye wants to go immediately look for. You don't want to be obscuring any of those details, because again, it can take the viewer right out of the experience, especially if you still see like the mold lines and everything like that. So be mindful of that in the future. Yes. Can I help you?
No, just going about you.
Okay.
Disrupt your show.
You can't disrupt the show. You can't. This show is undisruptable, because this show is built upon disruptions and chaos and monkeys flinging poo. So how can you disrupt a show that's all about flinging poo? You get out of here. So where are we? I don't know. John Doe at Gray, the Hornet is pretty close to the size of a Dark Elder Venom. Yep, I would agree. It's a little bit bigger though, but yeah, it's about like that kind of size. It's a small skimmer kind of craft. The Green Newt, I need to finish my Necron Heavy Destroyer, replace the front and Heavy Gauze turret with the ones including the Catacomb Command Barge, and it looks a lot better. Oof, that's pretty big. Totem Lord, Way of the Rush 119. Totem is back, but late. Oops. Clayton Tate, search for Orcified Knight in Imager, and a shot of it at game day is there. I gotta go searching for this? No, just send me a damn link. I don't want to go searching for stuff. The Perfect Sheep. Hello, Quirk. How'd you know it was Quirk? Yeah, because the way that I'm situated, I'm like looking straight at the camera here, but it's also my doorway is like right there, and so as people are walking by, they always stop and like make faces at me, or try and do weird things to throw me off. But it's not any like they can't throw me off any worse than I can throw myself off from just reading a sentence or whatever. So I don't know what the big game is trying to throw me off, because it just doesn't happen. Now that I said that, watch him do something and throw me way off. Coffee. Let's do another email, because I don't know what the heck. The Lurkin Quirkin? No, the Lurkin Quirk. Change it to the Lurkin Quirkin. Oh, Jerkin Lurkin Quirkin. This is from Tom Dark Mango. Oh, Dark Mango, this is your email here, buddy. Here is some work in progress Tau. Okay, so here we are. Work in progress Tau. Pictures, a little bit fuzzy. I think it's done with a cell phone. I think you can probably set the model down and then steady your hand with the cell phone, like on your corner of the table, like just rest your wrist on the table. Just to get like steadier pictures. But otherwise, so far, the color scheme, it seems, pretty white or kind of khaki, a tan color. I think, I don't know. Here's a little bit clearer picture. Or are you redoing it in the chrome? Is that what you're doing? Is that what this is? Is this the chrome we're looking at? I think we're looking at the chrome. At least that's what I think we're doing. I don't know. The metal and the tan is very, very interesting. It's really, really light. The other angle was really hard to see if anything was really done with the model. Like here, I can't see if like the model doesn't even look painted. And then here, it's like, okay, still not painted. Here, I think he's painted. But then here, I can definitely see he's painted, which is kind of weird. But very cool. I think you need some other elements elsewhere on here to convey that, he is a painted model. Yeah. But was it you that we were talking about doing the chrome towel? I thought it was somebody else. I could be wrong. But very cool. I think I'd go with more contrasty colors, though. If you're going to go with like a bright metallic, go with a darker secondary color. I mean, the khaki's all right, I think, or the brown color. I think if that's the color you're going for. But yeah, I would go with something a little bit more contrasty. But otherwise, yes, send more pics of what is happening with your guy. Dark Mako, Myth of Silver on top of the town and the Shadow Gray on the clothes. Okay, well, I seen the Shadow Gray on the hooves, but I didn't really see it on the back, like on the back legs, and so I assume that still had yet to be done. Okay, so yeah, Myth of Silver, Shadow Gray, awesome, sounds good. I like it. Send more pics when you are further along, because yeah. Ruben Cronge. Hi, Kris. First time I'm tuning in live. Well, welcome, Ruben. Welcome. Trying to say it as sinister as I can. Welcome. As sinister as I can say it. Welcome. Anyway. Yeah, so let's do another email because we can. And because we're gonna blast through these sons of guns all day long. This is from Neil Turner. Hey Kris, watching your show but not logged in. It is 2:50 here in the morning in Australia. Too late and early for a drink. Couple of photos attached of a Night Lord Raptor inspired by your quick tips. Regards. Well, cool. And I clicked on the wrong window. There we go. So let's have a look. And I like it. He's very cool. I like the sword. That sword's big and crazy. Let's zoom in here. Nice lightning. Looks like he used the transfer. Transfer looks good too. Looks like it's adhered right on there nicely. Yeah. A little guard helmet. Okay, next pick. Here we go. Same dude? Yeah, it's gotta be the same dude. Oh, I like the eyeball on the chest. That's cool. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, good job. I like it. And I'm going to assume you're happy with your end result. And you should be because it is a good paint job. I like it. And I'm sure you probably have a bazillion more to get done. And so I'm glad, he got something out of the quick tips and said, you know what? I can see what he's doing there. I can do that. I'll do it to my models. And bang. And he goes, look at that. It looks good. So very good. I like it. Thank you for sending that in. Send me more of whatever else you're working on. Because why not? Oh, excuse me. The Barfing Sheep, Count Brushula. You missed it too. One of us. Who's one of us? Everybody's one of us? Ruben? Is Ruben one of us? Is that what it is? Ruben, it's pronounced cronier, like the French. Cronier? Am I even saying that right? Cronier. Cron. Anyway. Mad Max 81 at Kris, I have sent you an email because I would like your input on a particular potential color scheme for my new Space Marine chapter, the Forge Wardens. The Forge Wardens. Isn't that already a name? Forge Wardens? Forge Wardens. Forge. Anyway, yeah, send me an email. Oh, you have sent me an email. Well, we probably won't get to it today, but if we keep blasting through these emails today, we will most likely get to it next show. Ghost of Starman Deluxe at Total War. Feel the power of the swarm. Communist. What? Communist, jeez. Yeah, Pinko Kami. Dark Mako 91 at Kris. Yes, Chrome Towel, but I used Mithril instead. I have sent some photos about when they were done, but I am missing Farsight shoulder pads in the never emails. I've also sent the homemade model. Very cool. Ruben, yeah, that's pretty good. Cronier. Because if it's French, then it's Croner. Croner. I don't know. Samuel, Kris, I'm working on a Space Marine chapter. Who coat their armor in runes? A friend of mine told me to use ultrafine point, write them in, and then seal it. What do you think about that style? Write them like. Sure. You can go about it that way. Like for example, you could. If your freehanding is really good and you can write like little runes and stuff like that in, okay. We're going to assume that's already a skill set that we don't have to worry about, right? So if you're going to do the entire armor, like they're covered in these runes, kind of like in Conan the Barbarian, right, in the movie, and he's got all those little runes and scripts, like when he dies and the ghosts are going to come get him, and you know, he's got all those little runes written all over him. We're imagining that. That's what we're imagining. Yeah, definitely. I would start off with the base color of your armor in a lighter shade, closer to what your highlight is going to be, right? That way, you write your runes in fairly dark, and then you can introduce your shadow colors afterwards and shade downwards, and that way you'll get color transition with the runes. So that way, you know, you don't have because say for example you had red armor and it went to deeper red, and then you had your black, and the black shows up really really dark on the red, but then in the darker areas it shows up almost looking like a dark gray or something like that, right? Whereas if you did it on the armor and then shaded afterwards, it all uniformly gets darker and looks more realistic. Looks more like a tapestry almost, or something along those lines. But yeah, I would go about it that way if you're going to do it that way. But whatever you do, send pics. Send pics of what you did. Who was it? Samuel Berg, that's it. You missed it too. Yeah, I was pointed at Ruben when we accept you, one of us. See, the monkeys are a very accepting group. Who said like chimpanzees, like when newcomers enter chimpanzee, families, that the one kind of gets roughed up a bit and then, then he's finally accepted? It's not the case with the monkeys. With the monkeys, it's always arms open. The monkeys are an accepting group. Samuel, Forge Whites is the chapter you're thinking about. I wasn't even thinking about that one. Forge Whites? Okay, Forge Whites. Samuel with a ultra fine point marker. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, you do it with the point marker as well. Yeah, I would do it with the armor closest to what your highlight color would be. Write them in, and then shade all the armor downwards. That way, if you wanted to have the color depth and also make the writing look like it's part of the armor, like part of the surface of the armor, rather than sitting on top of the armor, right? Because if you had your highlight colors and your shadows, and then you came in with your dark marker, then it would look like it's sitting on top, right? Versus looking like it's sitting as part of the armor. If you kind of understand what I'm meaning there. I've shown it before doing brocade on banners, doing like intricate patterns, and then then shading the entire surface downwards, so that you get all those little tiny details all shaded uniformly. Instead of trying to highlight them all real small, you just do it all at once, and it gets it all in. Yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe. I put some Genestealer carapace on the shoulders of my Scourges, and it has made a real difference. Thanks for the tip, Kris. No problem, Ghost. Bailey Mirror. Send pics. Yes, send pics. Totem Lord. I missed half the show and I gotta go. Dinner. Sad face. I'll see you later. Totem Lord. Totem. Ruben. Haha. Well, good to know that the monkeys will take in a French descended South African. Sure, why not? What does it matter? What does it matter where you're from? What does it matter? Like, unless of course you no, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter where you're from. It just matters who you are on the inside. Like, really, what does it matter where you're from that determines who you are? Like, that's so not the case. People are people, and yeah. Anyway. Maximum 81. I searched high and low to make sure that the name wasn't taken, and thought Forge Warden sounded like a suitable name for a successor chapter of the Iron Hands. Sure, yeah, no, sounds good. Hey, man, I'm wrong all the time, so don't listen to me. It sounded familiar, like a familiar name for a chapter, but anyway. You missed it too. Well, French descended American, so it's all good. Neil Turner, thanks, Kris. Yeah, happy with the Night Lord. I look forward to your quick tips. Been waiting for your heresy ultramarine tips. Well, they are going to be showing up. Well, we're almost done them. I think I only have one more video out, and that's it. And the ultramarines are all done. And then it's all done. Then I'm going to do a quick little talk through, the processes of doing the Marines, because, the people want it. And so, yeah. And then that'll be it. And that's going to be it for Space Marines. I'm going to be done with Space Marines for a while. I'm not even going to look at a Space Marine. Maybe a Terminator, but not a Space Marine. And so, yeah. Still here and still. What's the difference between a gloss and a matte varnish? Gloss varnish will give you a shiny finish. It'll look like, like something glossy or glass. It'll be smooth and shiny. Light will bounce right off it. Gloss, I find the undercolors tend to be a little bit more vibrant through gloss coat. Matte will dull the finish down. Ambient light will not be playing on its surface too heavily. It'll give you kind of just this really flat kind of look to everything. And I find that matte varnishes tend to kind of dull down the colors as well. But really, a lot of people prefer matte varnishes over gloss varnishes. I like gloss varnishes for things like my airplanes, my tanks, because I play Eldar, so I like the smooth surfaces. But on Tyrannid carapace, I think it looks really, really cool when you do the contrast with, like a matte kind of, his limbs are a matte finish, while his carapace has got a glossy finish. I kind of like those kind of things. But yeah, that's the difference between a matte and a gloss. And there's also a semi-gloss or satin, which is a mixture between the two, which will give you kind of a bit of a matte finish and a bit of a gloss finish. And so, again, personal preference. The semi-gloss, I actually like it for flesh, for varnishing flesh. Just because flesh isn't glossy and it isn't matte, and so semi-gloss gives you that that in-between ground where flesh kind of has a bit of a shine to it, but it also has a bit of a matte to it, and so yeah. Where am I? I don't know. Dr. Zentos riding on an organic spaceship, riding around the cosmos. Alrighty. You mean you're smoking weed? Pangean, there is the Storm Wardens chapter. Storm Warden. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Storm Wardens. Storm, Borge. Not really, but yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Dark Mako 91 at Kris. Would gloss be a thing to put on my mithril towel? Yes, I would. To give it that nice shiny kind of look, mithril silver looks great under gloss. Looks great. and it sparkles. Lord of Midgets, hey, get off my lawn. Chaos, hey Kris, how would you say to paint the Sanctum Imperialis terrain? How would I say to paint him? If you have an airbrush, use an airbrush. If you don't have an airbrush, get your hands on some larger, like 1-inch craft brushes, or get yourself the Citadel scenery brushes. Get yourself a palette, lay a bit of your color down on the palette, get your paint, and do it by hand. If you got an airbrush, it goes by a little bit quicker, a little bit. But otherwise, yeah. How would I do them? Man, I'd probably do them sort of like the box, I guess, for one. But then I'd probably go experimenting, with maybe more golds or even more terracotta, kind of a clay color. Give it kind of maybe it looks like brick or something. I don't know. Sky's the limit, man. You can do buildings whichever colors you like, and I'm sure it all will look good, especially when you have the whole array of them. Because when you look at most cities and stuff like that, buildings are not the same colors. You know what I mean? And buildings aren't all white or all gray. Some are greens, some are blues, some are reds, some are yellows. You know what I mean? And so run with it. Do the building whatever colors you think might look cool. Thomas Rasmussen. Hello, monkeys. Well, hello. The Green Newt. I use Tamiya Clear Semi-Gloss, and it's pretty good at sealing decals and such without leaving too much of a shine. Interesting. I'll have to try that. Still here and still. I want to say there's more to that sentence. The still here and still. Anyway, I have the Emperor's Children Force, and I was wondering what is the best thing to put on the finished models to the guys to protect them and to shine them up a bit. A semi-gloss or a gloss varnish. I would go with a semi-gloss. If you can find a satin or semi-gloss varnish, I would go with that. Yeah, just to kind of brighten them up a bit and, kind of make them kind of slick and, and Emperor's Children, right? So they're supposed to be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for here? Slick, anyway. I don't know. Fancy? But yeah, I would go with that. Lord of Midgets questions. What recommendation do you have for painting Retribution of Sire official scheme with an airbrush? I appreciate paint turquoise, but the white over the top looks blue, not greenish. Interesting. I appreciate and then paint the turquoise, but the white over the top looks blue, not greenish. You might want to shade with a green then. Use a green ink to shade the turquoise, not heavily, but a bit, and then lay your white. Because you're using an airbrush. You said, yeah, with an airbrush, yeah. Because with the Forces of Syra, yeah, I would start off with a white prime, and then I'd probably just build the color up right from the that kind of turquoise color. Build it up from there, and then hit it from the top with the zenithal light white, and then bright white from the very tops. Yeah. But yeah, if you're concerned about the turquoise turquoise over the white, but the white over the top looks blue, not greenish. Yeah. But it might be just your light. You might be seeing more of that blue spectrum come through, and not so much of the green. Maybe on a different light, you might see more of the greens come through. I don't know. But yeah. Rupert Bear, Kris, I keep hearing about people sealing models. Sorry to be a noob. No, don't be sorry. But about how does this work and what do you need to do it? Well, Citadel sells Ard Coat in a spray, or Purity Seal. I think it's still called Purity Seal. And that's the acrylic varnish. And it just seals the models. Now, if you're going to be playing with the models, I definitely would recommend sealing the models, protecting them in a varnish. Just because, your hand's going to be grabbing them, stuff like that, and, you're going to wear away, and you end up, wearing away the paint job, right? That's why you want to seal the models. If they're a display piece, then it's not that important that it gets varnished. You may want to varnish it, but it's not that important that it's varnished. But if it's a gaming piece, yeah, you definitely want to varnish your models. Just because you're going to be playing with them, they're going to be dropping, dice are going to be hitting them, and falling on the terrain, and, all these things. And you don't want to chip up your paint job, especially if you've done a good tabletop paint job. Not display standard, but, a good tabletop. You've highlighted the eyes, you got, shading and highlighting, and, you've got transfers, decals, and, things like that. Conversion, whatever, right? So, yeah, you want to protect the paint job. Mad Maxim 81. Kris, I was wondering, in the airbrush noob intro, are you just spraying water in your face, or did you actually paint for complete authenticity? Come on now. What do you think? Do you think Kris would really spray paint in his face? No, it was just water in there. Or rubbing alcohol. I can't remember, one of the two. But anyway. Yeah. That was just because, because the spray, it looks, like when you're spraying color, other than maybe just color. And I mean, if I really wanted to, make you fooled that I did it with a color, I could have just put a simple color grade on that mist. And yeah, it would have looked, I could have made it look like red or green or something that would have shown up really well. And, make it look like I sprayed that color at myself, which would have been funny, yeah. But then I'd have to come back in the frame, like with all this paint on my face or something, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted some quick, silly kind of intro for that. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. I smell food. Need to go soon. Thomas Rasmussen. Kris, when is the next airbrush noob up, and what color did you go with? Well, I haven't even gotten any further since the last video went up, and I was looking at people's comments and suggestions, and I think what I'm going to go for is the glassy kind of look. That was it you? No, somebody had mentioned it was just like out of Skyrim. No, Elder Scrolls. The glass, the green glass kind of look, and I think that's what I'm going to go for. And I pretty much know how I'm going to do it, because I'm going to do it pretty much entirely with the airbrush. So I pretty much know how I'm going to lay all the texture down, and then coming, and then I also want to have though a kind of a ghostly quality to it. So you'll see what I've already got it all in my head. I've already got the procedure down in my head on what I'm going to do, and so yeah, I'll probably be actually filming that right after the show today. So yeah. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Purity Seal is called Retributor Armor now. Oh, is that what it's called? Okay. Oh, they changed the name? Jeez. Bob, is there a name for the show yet? Is there a name for the show yet? What is the name of the show? I don't even know. Write it down below. Hurry up. Holy crap, yeah, because we're already at 1:30. Holy man. What have we been doing all this time? Oh, excuse me. Copy. Totem Lord, I'm back. What'd I miss? Missed a bunch of stuff. Lord of Midgets, Kris doesn't use cups anymore. He drinks from 30 psi airbrushes. Are we talking like regular drinks, or are we talking like cocktails? Just with an airbrush, because everybody's into vaping, right? So I might as well do like an airbrush and spray my drink into my face. Anyway. Dark Mako 91, Kris, spray chrome in the face and yell, "Notice me!" in the mini working office, and just run around like a maniac. Yeah, I haven't run around the office like a maniac in a while, and so maybe I'll have to make a video of just running around like a maniac in the office, and just basically harass all my coworkers. It's been a while since I've done it. Clayton Tate. Waffle laughing with lurking quirk. A lurking quirk? A lurking quirk. Yeah, come on, kids. We need a name for the show. Cars and Moose giveaway. We're giving away a moose. Lancaster 622. Retributor armor is gold. Yeah, I thought the paint pot was gold, but this big spray bottle, is that purity seal or is it gold? Thomas, episode 119, Kris, the airbrush new. I already got that title down. No. Ruben, although now I'm sitting in England, so I guess it really doesn't matter where you're from, only where you're going. Deep thought for the day. No, that is deep. That's deep, Ruben. That's deep. That got me right here. That was deep. Someone. I think you're chewing. I think the chewing part, totem, that was quick eating. Oh, yeah. Did you even taste your food, buddy? Lord of Midgets. You can tell Kris is a noob with the airbrush when he explains how he drank from it, pointing it to his ear. What? How he would drink from it, pointing at his ear. That's 7 o'clock somewhere. Dr. Santos, good one. Dark Mako. Episode name, Crouching Tau Hidden Chrome. I kind of like that. Because we cover that topic a lot in the last couple episodes. But you know what? I'm going with it today. Dark Mako, you win. You win, Dark Mako, you win. What do you win? I don't know. But you win something. You win the prize. The prize of my undying admiration. I know that sounds a complete horse, doesn't it? Still here and still, it's still Purity Seal on the Canadian store. Is it still Purity Seal? Okay, but for some strange reason they don't make a gloss. They only sell that as matte. So be mindful that is a matte sealant. Okay, Purity Seal is a matte sealant. Ard Coat is a gloss sealant, but Ard Coat is only in the bottle. It's for brushing on. So, yeah. 2 things to be mindful of. Despite you, Way of the Brush 119 After Dark. You guys keep asking for this After Dark. And how many times have I told you guys, be careful what you wish for? Because you just might get it. Bailey Muir, Kris, what model have you enjoyed painting the most? Ooh, man, don't even know. So many. In recent days, I don't know. I mean, I have a Kingdom Death model. She's a little ammo slave. I have been meaning to get back to her because I was having a lot of fun, building up the gradient of flesh. The Celestian Prime is another model that I really enjoy painting. I wish I could have done more on that one. But yeah, there's a lot of models. I don't know what else is on my table. I'm having fun with my Wraithguard at the moment. They're turning out kind of fun, kind of cool, kind of interesting. Dr. Mako, yay! I win something. Yay! You won my respect, sir. Rupert Bear, why do GW have to keep changing the name of stuff? Oh well, I don't know. They changed it. Lord of Midgets, the Purity Seal is satin, isn't it? I have it. It's not a proper matte. Well, yeah, but it's more matte than it is satin, I think. If you spray too much down, yeah, it takes on a satin quality, but I think because you might be spraying too much down. Actually, Purity Seal, you don't need to lay very much down on the model. It's like 1-2 pumps, 1-2 pumps, 1-2 pumps, and that's it. Still here and still. I'm trying to decide a cool LO Lord of War for my Chaos Space Marine. Any thoughts on a sweet centerpiece model? I was leaning towards the Greater Brass Scorpion. I'm just afraid the paint job won't do it justice. Brass Scorpion would be cool, yeah, as a centerpiece. Or even that big Lord of Duder battle, and with the legs, not with these Tonka truck legs, but get him with a proper set of legs, and he's got the upper body of the corn. Wow, what the heck is he called? Not Lord of Skulls, is it? I can't remember anyway. But anyway, the dude, he's got tank treads, but don't do the tank treads. Do the legs. And he's walking around. He's all, do that one. That'd be very cool. And send pics. Lord of Midgets, Kris After Dark is just lube and baking soda being thrown at Elder Titans while he screams, "Do you like it? Do you love me now? You know you can hear me. I've seen Toy Story." Wow, that sounds like the work of a crazy person. I don't know, but Pangy and Purity Seal is closer to matte than a satin, but not as matte as many other matte sealers. Sort of a semi gloss. Okay. Yeah, in my experience, Army Painter, Purity Seal is a matte sealant. If you spray too much or spray a lot down, yeah, it does take on a satin type quality because it's starting to puddle up in areas. You gotta be careful. But it is definitely not a gloss sealant. But anyway. Still here and still. Oh yeah, the Catan, it is sexy. Kaitan? Yeah. Whatever the heck it's called. He's the night dude, and he's got the two legs, and he walks around, and he stomps on, he runs amok, and yeah, Lord, I wish I could knock Kris off his game. Almost. You almost derailed it. You almost derailed the thought process. That's okay. I just take a break, drink some coffee, and we're back on track. Oh, wrong mouse. Let's do an email because we can. This is from Adam. Hi, Kris. I thought I'd send some pics of my Death Watch kill team that I just did before Death Watch Overkill came out. Well, the Blood Angel Terminator, the Devastator from my friend's homemade chapter, the Fists of Thunder, sounds like a metal band, and the UM Tactical Marine, who looks more like a Stern Guard. Hey, have I done this one already? I did the Black Shield, the Black Tempest, Tactical Marine after. PL, please email back when the semblance gets in. Thanks, Adam. UK. I think I already did this. Yeah, I did this one already. How did I jump ahead? I don't know. But yeah, we talked about this one before. All he did is he used the Grey Knight shoulder pads to make his kill team, which is very, very cool. Yeah. I've done these. I've done that. I don't know. I'm cracking up, I guess. Or maybe he sent it twice. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Wait, where was that one? Crap, where was that? That wasn't the... Oh, he he sent me another email, but it was... The shoulder pads are from the Captain Pack, Terminator Squad, and Command Squad. That's where the shoulder pads, because I was asking where the shoulder pads were from, if they're from like Grey Knights or what have you. That's why this is back on the list. Okay, because if he replies within the same email, it shows back up in my inbox. Yeah. Anyway. All right. This is from Dark Mako. Dark Mako, you sent a whole bunch in there, didn't you? And here we go. Here's this Mithril Silver and the Dark Blue. I like the red. I like to see some definition in the panel lines. We were talking earlier about the markers and stuff, and so I think that would be one way to go about it. Or just a nice good shade wash, one of the two. Yeah, getting the dark colors in there. I see going for a bit of engine glow. I wouldn't really fret at that, worry about it yet, because that looks like it's a bit of glow there. I don't think you really need it. Feels more like it's just kind of a dot on the armor. Yeah, the silver looks really, really cool, but it needs a little bit of contrast in there just to kind of help pick out the details. I don't know if I'd go with a Nuln Oil wash. If you're going to go with a Nuln Oil wash, I definitely would recommend doing a 1-to-1 of shade wash with May and medium. Not really water, because water will break down the viscosity of the shade wash, and the shade wash has that quality of falling within the recesses. And when you add too much water to it, it just kills that ability, and it doesn't work right? Whereas if you use Lemaine medium, it'll still retain that quality to sit inside the recesses. And so I would do something like that. Or of course you can pick yourself up some Liquitex Flow Aid, and you can pretty much do it with it, or whatever color you want, really. As an option. Okay, this is still from Dark Mako here, because again, like I said, he sent me a bunch of emails. He said, I painted up my Tau, but I'm missing some shoulder pads on my Fire Warriors. And so here's his duders. I like the color scheme. The silver and red. I like it. I don't think everything on the Tau suits has to be silver. I think, like, for example, the shins, they could be like a dark metal. The toes could still be silver, and the shin or the thigh plates could be silver. But I mean, like, like the little extra little panels and things like that, I think could be left in darker grays. I think it's very cool. Yeah. These guys, this is pretty much how I'd imagine them coming out. Yeah, the silver cloth. But yeah, the silver needs something, and I think doing Null Oil with a mixture of Lemaine medium, kind of 50-50. And applying it. Not too heavily, not like you normally would, but just so that it sits within the recesses, but it doesn't change the overall value of the big areas. That's what that mixture is going to do. It's not going to... Because if you hit this with non-oil, it would just change it all to a dark gray, and everything would look kind of messy. And you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people would just like apply it too heavily. And that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about just applying enough so that it creates a little bit of separation in the armor panels, but it's tinting the metal just a tiny little bit. But it really wouldn't obscure like that nice vibrant metal look of everything. Oh, was that it? No, that was it. This is it. 4 photos. And so that's Dark Mako's things. Tau. I was kind of hoping you were going to do something more like Chrome, but Manthro Silver works just fine as well. Did you look for Vallejo's Metallic Medium? That is also another one you might want to give a try too. That's a lot of fun. Where are we in these comments? Lord of Midges. Let's bottle Kris and use him for basing. We'll dry brush him, and everyone will ask if we have dogs because of all the hair in the bases. That's kind of crazy. Throwing me into a jar. That doesn't sound at all in the slightest kind of disturbing to anybody. Somebody wants to put me into jars. Be all reading it on the news. Yeah, Chris Bello missing 6 days. Found him in jars, jam jars, and Citadel paint pots. Anyway. Where are we? Spike to you, Kris. Will there be an episode next week? I think so. Why? Why won't there be? Why? What's next week? Is there something next week? I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't thinking about taking a break until probably closer to July, just like July, August. Just a little time frame off. But yeah, there'll be a show. I'm pretty sure next week. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? Still here, and still, I imagine Bottle Kris would be in like Old Spice-esque man perfume. With a hint of bourbon. John Doe. Yeah, I tried doing that, and the resolution doesn't want to adjust. What this thing is just a cheap piece of junk. Plus, my current cell has no camera in it. It's just outdated and old. Oh, okay. Green Newt, Citadel Texture, Kris Crackle. Crackle Medium. Despite you, I know how the feels, John. I'm a terrible photographer. Can't even spell it. Oh yeah, you just spelled it wrong. Totem Lord Kris just sending you some pics of my work in progress diorama. Very cool. I don't know if we'll get to it today because we're at the last 10 minutes of the show and we're counting down to the end. I got an email here from, I think it's Robert. And she's pretty long. It might even be the 10 minutes there. I don't know. John Doe. Man, I'll get photos one way or the other. Just got to make a plan first. Yeah, get a plan. Make a plan. Despite you, just because I want to send you an email. Still here and still, I have a Chaos Knight Titan. All of this talk of chrome makes me think of the pink Slaaneshi Chrome Titan would be amazing. A pink Slaaneshi Chrome Titan. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah. Like if you had some pink panels, pink bits and stuff like that, and then you had like these chrome, like main carapace and stuff like that, and then you had some really dark black contrasty bits. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool, actually. Lord of Midgets, Kris, is it true you're going to start singing? You're going to start a singing career by covering chef's salty chocolate balls? Man, it's been a while since I heard that one. No.
What would that sound like?
Me singing chocolate salty balls? I don't know.
Can you give us a little sample?
No, because I can't quite remember the melody of the song, and so I'm not. But I know the song. But I don't know the song. I'd have to practice. And then I'd have to practice, doing my best Barry White. Anyway, let's do an email. This is from Robert. Is it just Robert? Or is there... Oh, man, look at how long this is. Okay. Yeah, this is going to take us right till the end of the show. Hello, Kris. I'm getting back into the hobby after well over 12 years of being out. Played 3rd edition until 2003-ish, but played fantasy for a bit after that. I just needed a hobby that didn't involve electronics and really want to focus more on the painting time rather than getting paint slapped on and onto the table. I chose Imperial Fist before reading the rules or codex because I used to play Dark Angels and was done with robes, and I can't stand Ultra, models, fluff, blue smurf, etc. Then I read yellow is highly challenging color, and I'm writing this as I watch Wave the Brush 118, so I hope I stay focused throughout. One of my issues is I am colorblind. Oh geez, red, brown, green. So I rely heavily on the awesome YouTube tutorials and recipes, i.e. Avalanche Sunset, Cassandra Yellow, Uriel Yellow, Flash Gets Yellow, etc. And from all of you at Mini Wargaming, it is crazy to have all these resources that weren't when I started in the mid-90s. Same here, man. Less bits, but spring 2016 is definitely the season of Space Marine. I don't Facebook, so I'm sending you this email. My question is, what are your feelings on Citadel Edgeline? I have Dorn Yellow, but it seems so much softer than Uriel Yellow. It is. Flash Kids layer colors, I've been putting it over, so I only imagine using it in the smallest edges on some small select models. Would you recommend it is better to use before Lamenter's Yellow Glaze and or Hexio Pale Sun dry brush, or after to perk up the yellow as the glaze will cover it up too much? The Dorn Yellow should be at the very end. Okay, if you're going with the typical Avalanche Sunset, Cassandra Yellow, and then Uriel Yellow, and then you don't even really have to go with Flash Kits. You can go with Flash Kits if you want, but then you only have to go with Dorn Yellow next. And then you can come in with Lamenter's Yellow as a finishing glaze to bring everything back that yellow spectrum again. But that's really about it. Dorn yellow really is kind of like the last color to use because Dorn yellow is this very, very pale yellow. And so, yes, definitely that is the last color that you want to be using. Or unless you're going to put a glaze on top of it. The Lamenter's yellow. Because Lamenter's yellow will make it really kind of bright and yellow again. But if you want to keep the yellow more subdued, because, okay, that recipe gives you an imperial fist that is more of an orangey yellow. And then there's other recipes that give you more of a brown yellow. And so if you like the orangey yellow, then by all means, continue using this recipe. I also have a recipe for the brown yellow as well. So that's also in the vault as well. And I think I did it for the last time I did Imperial Fist. Yeah. For the Horus Heresy. I showed doing the brownish yellow. So feel free to look that up as well if you're a Vault member, which I think you said you were. Or maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, back to the email. I think, in other words, how bright can I go with the whole Citadel yellow range before glaze brings it all back together? Then how do you recommend the yellow is highlighted on itself after glaze without looking like a highlighter exploded on the model? Well, it does look fairly bright, but again, like I said, you're talking about going with the orangey yellow, and you in fact may want more of a darker yellow, and that kind of goes towards more of the spectrum of brown. So you might want to go with more of a brown yellow, and of course you can always look those up too. So anyway, I just primed my first batch of Tactical Marines and assembled another yesterday, so I don't have any pics to send yet. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with the world. It is much appreciated. Thank you. And that is Robert Burnett Newhall. Is that California or Canada? I can't remember. Anyway, that was all I want to get through, Robert. Hopefully I kind of answered your question. Yeah, if you're sticking with that recipe, I use Dorn Yellow last, then the glaze. You can put the Dorn Yellow on top of that glaze again, but even smaller than what you had previously done with the Dorn Yellow, because the yellow will change that other Dorn Yellow, right? It'll change it into more yellow, and so you can actually put just a tiny little dot of Dorn Yellow in there. But otherwise, yeah, Dorn Yellow tends to be my last color to use. If you want to go for the brown yellow, which is another popular Imperial Fist way to go, often I'll start with something like Zameshi Desert, which is kind of like Avalanche Sunset, but not as saturated yellowish orange. Because Avalanche Sunset, you can see there's a bit of orange to it, whereas like Zameshi Desert is a little bit more paler. It's desaturated, and it still has the yellowish qualities, but it has a bit of a brown quality to it as well. And so I like using that as the base. And then you can come in with like a thinned down Agrax Earthshade, shade it in. Just don't change the overall tint too much of the armor. You're looking just to pick out the details. And then you come in with a mixture of Zameshi Desert and Screaming Skull, and you just mix them together. Highlight, make another mix, more Screaming Skull, you know what I mean? Go 2-3 progressions up to Screaming Skull. You can work it up to a white if you like, but I usually only work it to about a Screaming Skull as my final highlight, or maybe with a bit of white mixed in with the Screaming Skull and white. And then after that's all done, I hit the entire thing with Lamenter's Yellow, and it brings it all back into the yellow spectrum, but it has those hints of browns in it. So that's another way, real quick, of doing it. Spite you, Kris. Can we get into Morton Joe quick tip one day? We kind of do have the mask, so I don't know. Morton Kris. I said that last show. A Morton Kris eating quirk. Huzzah, 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 huzzah. Why are we all saying huzzah? Are we saying that because it's 2:00 and it's the end of the show? Is that why we're all saying huzzah, huzzah, and harumph? Can I get a harumph? Harumph, harumph, harumph. That guy didn't give me a harumph. Anyway, send your questions, comments, You want a little help on your color scheme, maybe you want a little feedback on your paint job, send it to chris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. Join us on Facebook, Wave the Brush. Again, description. The link is in the description below. And, of course, Wave the Brush t-shirts. They help Chris out. And, you look great. You look fantastic in the shirt anyway, Wave the Brush. I mean, who doesn't want to look fantastic? I don't know. It mustn't be you all, because not everybody's bought a shirt. So, and of course, when you do, if you do buy a shirt, you got to send me a picture of yourself in it, because I'll use it in the next intro, or as the expanded intro, and then eventually the intro will just be the monkeys, just a showcase of the monkeys in the shirts, which is what I'd like to do. That'd be great. That'd be fun. Have you all in t-shirts and just standing there. Kind of like the Avengers, everybody's just kind of flying around. It's all a big fight and, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm tired. I need a little bit more coffee. And, yeah, so thanks for the emails. Keep sending those emails in, kids. We are only, what was that last email? That was only 6 days ago. That was last week's email. So, again, we got through quite a few. We got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got through 9 today. I think that's my record, 9. And we got through 9 today. And so, again, keep them coming, yeah. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. Dark Maker, where can I get where can I get the shirts? It's in the description below. You get them from Spreadshirt. There's a few choices there. I think I even have the ones with some white sleeves. They have like two-tone sleeves and stuff. But yeah, and there should also be, if you are a larger fella, if you're mountain-sized, I do believe I have the mountain section open in there, and you should be able to fit. But yeah, I paint, I sleep, I paint again. Exactly. Morton Chris, witness me in your shirt. There we go. Exactly. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I'll see you guys next week. I'm pretty sure next week. But yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you guys next week. Grab the wrong mouse again. Oh, the handles, Thomas. Yeah, the handles. Yeah. I've worked out the invoice and everything like that. So expect those in Mini Wargaming store soon enough. The handles. It is the steady hand grip. That's what these things are. That's what they're called. That's the official name of them now. Is the steady hand grip. Okay. This one's all dirty, but because it's well used. But yeah, expect these in the Mini Wargaming store very, very soon. The steady hand grip, custom made by me. Each one lovingly created by me. So again, take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. I will see you guys next week again.